Okay, I need to go over decoding strategies instruction. Decoding strategy instruction begins after the student demonstrates strong decoding skills. At this point, you should teach self-correction tactics as they read. You need to tell them things like, while you're reading, be sure to pay attention to reading for meaning, syntax, and visual cues. When you're reading for meaning, does it make sense what you just read? Syntax. Do we talk like that? Did you read something that should alert you to make a correction? We don't talk that way. And does it look right? Okay? Because sometimes when you read, you can be reading too quickly and then you realize, oh, I read that wrong. Let me go back. We don't talk like that. Or that doesn't look right. Maybe I'm not getting it, you know? So that is something that's important to teach students as they are reading. Now this is a little bit out of place. I don't know how it got here exactly. It must have been in the book, but I must have omitted some other information to add this in. But it's important to know that you should be using portfolios as a means of assessing student progress. And so a portfolio is a long view of literacy development. It's a collection of artifacts that reflect reading and writing abilities, thus providing a contextualized view of the child as a whole. Okay? A portfolio should show their strengths and their needs. All right? They're useful to the teacher and the student as they review progress. You can have conferences, and you should have conferences with your students to let them know where they are, to set goals so that they can, be happy in the progress that they're making. Okay? That portfolio should include a reading section, and the reading section should have informal reading inventory, miscue analysis, and running records in them. It should list the books read and from what genres they are reading. It should even list the books that they are avoiding. It seems we have a helicopter overhead. We live next to a hospital, so that is not uncommon. Yeah, we got a story about helicopters. I'm not going to tell it, but yeah.
A story about helicopters?
Yeah, we got a story about what we think about helicopters flying around in the area. Okay. Especially ones that are circling the area. See, look, there it is. Okie dokie. Anyway. Yeah. There should be a reading section, a writing section, and a conference section. In the writing section, there should be obviously writing samples, which includes their errors, their drafts, their pre-writing, anything that they've done in writing. I know you're going to go call your son. And it should include conference information. Hey, look, photobomb. Kashi! There's my dog over there. Up on the hill, see her? Up there. Maybe she's going to check out the scene, make sure there's no predators about to come over my fence. All right, and conferences where you discuss with the child how they're doing. Okay? All right. The portfolio should also include oral information, and oral information is notating any opportunities provided to the student to speak, and they can be included in this evaluation inside the portfolio. You can also include, when they listen to audios, and if they finish listening to an audio, were they able to give you any information from their readings accurately? Were they able to complete a graphic organizer, which would be then put into the writing section of their portfolio? When evaluating portfolios, you need to go over it with the student and challenge the student to ask themselves, am I meeting my goals? And share with the student their strengths and needs. We should be using a rubric, and rubrics are helpful in demonstrating, showing where the student is at various times of instruction during the school year. A rubric might say, 3, has met goal for punctuation, 2, nearly met goal for punctuation, or 1, not met goal for punctuation. Did she almost fall? My dog, she tripped. Okay. So, to get back on the line of assessments, there are group assessments, and one very large, widely known group of assessments are called norm reference tests. And when you're deciding about a norm reference test to use, it's a test that measures students against the norm for their age and grade level. But you want to make sure that the test is reliable, and that does it measure what it says it's going to measure? Is it valid? Norm reference tests are tests that must be administered exactly the same every time you administer it. So if you're going to administer a norm reference test to the group of students, you would need permission from the parent to do it for an individual student. But if you are giving the same test to everybody in the classroom, then you don't need parent permission, because it's just a part of your classroom strategies. Okay, that's good information. But just remember that a norm reference test, the test must be administered in exactly the same way both times. Otherwise, you just make it invalid. Okay? So with our norm reference test, there is a raw score, which is the number correct of a group. And there's a percentile rank, which compares individuals to a group of other students from 1 to 99, for example. If a student got all questions correct, that means they scored in the 99th percentile. They did better than 99% of other students who took the test. Yeah, that's good information for you, because you're going to take statistics in a little bit, right? So yeah, percentiles. Yeah, you'll probably do just fine in that class. Okay. You might find out in a minute how she got out, huh? Grade equivalent scores determines how well a student scores in relation to other students in the same grade. Okay. And there are, last one, Criterion-Referenced Tests. Okay. These are benchmark and rubric based. Criterion-Referenced Tests look at process and product, how they got their answers, and are their answers correct. For example, spelling months of the year. Benchmarks score product 12 out of 12 by the 3rd grade is what should be acceptable. Rubrics score of the process. Generally, rubrics rate early, developing, and advanced. Each stage defines their criteria. See? Note, Criterion-Referenced tests are great for assessing strength and need. Okie dokie. And that truly concludes the assessment portion of my study. Next, we're going to get to the nitty-gritty of decoding.